Welcome back, my friends. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2026 to my friends. This is going to be a killer year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to growing the podcast, to making piles of cash on the felt, working my ass off. I'm looking forward to building my family and all that. But one other thing that I'm very much looking forward to is next week in January 16th and 17th. Suited Kings is hosting at Running Aces in Columbus, Minnesota, the Suited Kings Fish Fry. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The Suited Kings meetup game is going to be happening January 16th and 17th. We're going to have a $300 tournament each night, as well as timed cash games, which is essentially Minnesota's run around to playing no limit. Make sure to check that out. We'll also have a $150 tournament on that Saturday, the 17th. Guys, we want as many of you to get there as possible to make this as big as possible so that we can continue doing it each year. It's going to be just a fun community event where you can make money, honestly. And I really hope to see all of your faces there. Make sure if you do come to say hi to Wes and I. It would mean the world to us. And without further ado, let's break down some ranges. Welcome back, my friends. Mr. Wesley and I here again to actually kind of talk about how we're going to narrow ranges street by street today. Wes, just please stop making faces. I mean, you're making me uncomfortable.
Honestly, so we
I think Wes is malfunctioning, guys. He needs a
well,
program
it was
update.
actually here's what was going on is we tried to record this a couple times. This is take 3 or 4 depending on what you count as a take. And Max started it off by saying, "Okay, this is going to be the last one." And so I'm just trying to screw with them. I'm trying to mess them up and trying to get them to start over again.
We talk about energy, right? And I'm low right now. I'm a little bit low. My battery is just a little drained. It's not even a sleep issue, but here I am. I'm pushing through it, and we're gonna get through this podcast, and it's gonna be great. So we tossed the Adrian Mateo's hand breakdowns away because they weren't gonna be detailed enough to really get some good content out of that. He absolutely did monster some monster moves. I don't know. He had
Monster moves.
he had some
That would have
heat
been good for the title, though. Adrian Mateos makes monster moves.
He had some heat under the seat, as we said once.
Yeah, that's
right. But anyways, I didn't think that content was going to be so good. So we pulled an audible, and we're going to actually break down some hands that Wes brought to the table today and kind of get our brains working, get them ready to roll on how ranges can be, broken down into a more specific, smaller hand range to make a better decision on the river. I feel like that could maybe be articulated better, but essentially, yeah, we're going to use the actions our opponent has to dial in their hand.
Yeah, we're gonna basically I would say every street or every decision point. So every action that's taken by someone, you can gain more information to narrow their range. And yeah, we're essentially going to be looking at that. I remember years ago I listened to Alec Torelli talk about this as the hand funnel, I think he was called. Like you'd start off when you get dealt 2 cards.
You're listening to cheaters now, huh? Angle shooters.
Yeah, angle shoot. I
I'm
think
just
he's
kidding. I have
pretty
no
good at
idea. I just
poker,
remember
though.
Doug Polk picking on him
Yeah.
a ton.
Yeah. Some people, I'm not even saying whether or not, I'm not saying an opinion on him personally, but I think he's right about this and he's a good poker player where, yeah, it's like every time that someone makes a decision, you can sort of narrow down the types of hands they can have.
Yep.
And so once you rule out a type of hand, I guess obviously there can be things that are conflicting, and we know people don't always do things that make sense, right? But we're going to do our best here. And yeah, in this episode, we've got a couple hands where where we can take a look at what our opponents did on each street
Yeah.
and, you know,
Our goal is to
when
help you figure
facing,
out is to help you kind of get your brain working on the same pathway as, us who are the greatest players in the world.
yeah, and also Max. So,
uh, uh, guys, my exit from this podcast will be next week.
uh,
Uh,
so yeah, I've got three hands, two of which we're facing a river bet, one where we're deciding what to do on the river ourselves. And should I share the screen?
you
I
know
don't
what?
know.
Yeah, people, yeah, do it. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
let's do that.
This way, for our Patreon members, they can come in and check it out.
Right. Well, and maybe you'll be the only one to see it, but we can put this on YouTube, can't we?
We do have actually all of our content on YouTube, but it's not video. It's just all audio format. So no, actually no one will be able to see this, but this will help for our discussion at least.
Okay. Okay.
Oh God, ACR poker.
Yeah. Two of them are ACR, one's on global.
Okay.
So in this first hand here, we are on the button with about 30 big blinds to start. The low jack, who has 90 big blinds, opens to 2.3 bigs. We have the king of spades and the queen of clubs. And we decide to flat on button. I'm not going to focus too much on this, but king, queen off, very good hand of flat in position in this sort of spot, this sort of stack size. Don't want to three bet and get jammed on.
Okay. And let me ask you, at this point, can we start narrowing ranges at all, being their position they've opened and the stack size they have, or what are your thoughts?
Not too much. I mean, they
Yeah.
can still have any two Broadway cards, any pocket pair.
I know, but in terms of like looking at that pre-flop chart, we can start chipping away a little bit at the block.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though, is like, of course, we can rule out like
Six
9-5
deuce off.
offsuit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, totally. And to be fair, 9-5 suited, 6 deuce suited too. Like, of course, you are correct in that we should be able to have an idea of what their pre-flop range looks like, but also it still contains so many hands that we're not really gonna be able to calculate that.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, I mean, this is, yeah, we kind of get through it, but imagine thinking of it like a block, right? You're chipped away a little bit at it, trying to get it to its core.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go.
So then the flop is the queen of diamonds, and then the seven of clubs, five of clubs.
This
So
is
we flop
pretty ideal.
strong top pair. We do have the backdoor club draw. Our opponent bets 2.77 big blinds into a pot of 7.1 big blinds. And in position, I think we're just always calling here. We can get the chips in the middle. Like, we're in position, so we can bet turn if they check. Our hand does not really need much protection. There's only one bad overcard. We have the backdoor flush draw, so a club isn't nearly as concerning.
And okay, so I'm going to keep asking this question. Now that he's made another decision point on this board, can we start chipping away a little bit more, or do you think that he should be c-betting 100%?
I think and this is where it can depend on the player. We should be able to chip away a bit in that. I think a lot of their ace highs are supposed to check. I think hands like jacks, tens, sometimes even a queen is supposed to check. I would think there's some give up checks that have a little bit of showdown, and then there's some checks that have like, maybe they're not traps, but they're like good bluff catchers, or
Yeah.
one or two street value hands, right? So I think we're not narrowing it down too much, but I think we can rule out a decent amount of the ace highs. And I think hands like jacks, tens, nines, for whatever that's worth.
I disagree with that probably a little bit, especially considering our opponent has 87 big blinds, and I still might bet those hands small here.
I don't know that the 87 bigs.
I would say you might not think so in theory, but in terms of like general population, players.
We're on ACR though. Like, we know this player has a we know they're cheating, right? Like they're RTAing here, so we're
Yeah.
fighting for our lives.
You're right.
But
I,
no,
I
no,
I can't assume that they're going to, but I wouldn't completely eliminate those in terms of thinking future streets.
totally. Yeah, and I think the it depends on the player, but theoretically we should be able to at least trim down the likelihood of some of
Yeah.
those hands.
You
And
know
if
what?
they are betting those, then I guess like good for us in
You
a
know what
way.
kind of sucks though is when you like chip away at the block and then so some of those hands you removed all of a sudden aren't in the equation anymore and then they end up with it at showdown and you're like, I messed up because I removed that from his range. We don't want that to happen either, although that will happen, you know,
Yeah, it will happen. You know,
because we don't know how everyone plays exactly,
yeah.
right? I mean, you kind of assume, and let me ask you if you agree with this, but a lot of people, you will kind of assume that people will have a general level of play like you. Do you see what I'm saying? How do I word this better? You can't really assume like you don't know how they play, so you probably try and align it that they have some sort of base level knowledge that you actually know that they might have no idea of. Does that make sense to you or no?
Yeah, I think that's generally true. Um, I think, yeah, I think in this case on ACR, and I don't know, we can't see where this player's from, but on ACR, I think it's generally a decent assumption that if someone's doing something like that, like there are just a lot more players that have, the same baseline knowledge, if not more than
On
me.
ACR, you think so?
Totally.
Okay. I haven't played an ACR in many years, but yes, okay.
Yeah. No, I think you're right that in a lot of live tournaments, in a lot of other sort of online, like the American sites, I think there will be a lot of people who are, betting in spots where, like, who just kind of range bet flops without really thinking.
Yeah, I definitely see it. I definitely see it. I do agree though. Like say I had like ace 10 of hearts here. Would you
Mhm.
see bet that or would you check that?
I'm just auto
Checking it, right?
checking that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree that those will be moving. However, I don't agree everyone will do that, but that's just poker, right? So okay, so back to the action here. If anyone remembers where we're at, so it's the
And
queen.
one last thing, if we think we are up against a player who c bets too frequently, that's when we could take some more bluffs and really attack them, right? Obviously, this hand is not a bluff for
Right.
us,
Yeah.
but
Okay. So the board is queen of diamonds, seven of clubs, five of clubs. We have king of spades, queen of clubs. So we got top pair, backdoor flush draw. Our opponent C bet 2.77 to 9.87. And you, like you said, I don't think there's ever
sorry, into
a
7.1. So now
7.1
it's,
to create a 9.87 big blind pot. So you obviously just call here as for the reasons you explained before.
yep, pot is 12.65. And then the turn is pretty wet. It's not going to improve many hands, but it gives
It brings a lot of
now there are a
draws
ton of
in.
draws. We get the 10 of diamonds turn. So it's queen, 7, 5, 10, two clubs, and now two diamonds.
It's like on this kind of board, like anything's either a pair or a straight draw at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. There's almost, right. It would have to be like ace nine of hearts or something, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is really where we can start narrowing down their value because obviously they can still, there are a ton of draws, a ton of bluffs, like you said. So they bet 6.82 into 12.65, which is just over half pot. And obviously I'm not folding and I think so I can either call or jam. One thing I'll say is at this point, I think we're already in a spot where we're not necessarily losing to all the value, but we're probably losing to most of it or losing and chopping. But if they have, like, I don't really know if I see them betting a 10, maybe if they have a 10 and a club draw, they're just kind of betting because they have so much equity and,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Honestly, I like jamming here just because I don't want to miss the value from all their draws.
Hmm. I
And
think
whereas you see
that's,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Yeah. And so I kind of agree. Given my stack depth, I think I like that better too.
Did you end
It's
up calling
close.
here?
I ended up calling, but I
Okay.
think I'm with you in that I would rather jam this hand. Um,
Shame.
I
Shame.
know. I know.
Shame.
So, yeah, I mean, they can have this is such an interesting board where there are 2 flush draws, there are just infinite straight draws, but there are no completed flushes or straights, right?
So what I mean, he can still just have so much here though, right? In terms of what his range is, it can just still be so wide, right?
Well, I do think it narrows it down quite a bit in the sense that now something like, let's say he bet, ace 7 suited or pocket 6s or pocket 8s trying to deny equity. Stuff like that is all gonna check turn.
I agree. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So
a
we're kind of
random
removing the middling pairs. So do you think all these one pair hands, say he's got 7-8 suited or 9-10 suited, um, do you think that all those he's just trying to get to showdown with if it whether it's a flush draw or not a flush draw with it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I
So
do.
that
So I
mean I
and
mean then we can assume his range is actually really tightening up for his value range, that is.
Mhm. Yeah, his value range, he can certainly have bluffs, right?
Yeah.
He can certainly have most of them have a decent amount of equity, but there could certainly be some that don't. Like, his straight draws don't have to have a flush draw with them. I don't know if there's a world where he's taking pocket fours here and he's gonna jam river if all the draws
Well, we
miss.
know the four of hearts is coming on the river.
We know the 4 hearts is coming. Actually, this time it doesn't. Somehow it's the 8 of
Oh,
diamonds.
gross. Okay. So that's interesting. Okay, I'm curious where this is gonna go because that's kind of like the bring a lot of shit in type card.
It is. So
But
we
but some other shit still misses.
Yeah, the clubs miss. Backdoor diamonds get their jack 9 suited
King,
would get there.
yeah, King Jack
Uh,
suited, King Nine suited.
King jack and king 9 don't get there. We do have a king, so we don't block diamonds, but we do block some straight draws. The pot is 26.3 and we have 17.8 and our opponent goes all in.
Okay, now I want to get your thoughts though. I'm curious to hear what you're thinking here because this is, I mean, obviously you have a lot invested. What's going through your head here? How are we narrowing his range? And do you even call here, I guess?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay,
Because it
yeah.
is a tough.
I feel like honestly, like I feel like I'd fold here. I am I
I know.
am I a nit or what?
I mean, and so this is where, like, I don't think you are because we already on the turn, we were already a little concerned about the value range,
Yeah,
right?
being small, right? And now all the bluff, and now a ton of the bluffs got there on top of us thinking his value range is thin.
Yeah. So they could still have something maybe like ace jack, ace king with a diamond
Yeah,
is possible.
there's
Um,
a few bluffs, I guess.
yeah, there are still some bluffs. That being said, we are already kind of like, I don't know, is queen 9 suited? Queen 9, something like queen 9 suited, I think, is a hand that should not be going certain, probably not even going for 2
No,
streets,
no, I would definitely
but
check. Yeah,
yeah. And so it's like, okay, queen jack. Like this jam here, and I guess this is the point of the episode, right? Like we've kind of narrowed down their value to, okay, we lose to all the value now, right? Like
yep,
that's pretty easy to agree on.
yep,
Unless this person just doesn't know what they're doing, but we're not gonna, we think this player is at least competent, right?
yep.
And so we have a hand that is a
There you
bluff.
go, assume making assumptions again. I'm just
We
kidding. We should at least
that's
think they're competent, right? I'm just kidding.
yeah. So then it's like, is this a good bluff catcher? Well, what first off, we already realized like some of their turn bluffs got there already. And some of the turn bluffs that didn't get there, we have a king, which a lot of their bluffs that didn't get there might have a king, right?
Yep, yep.
So, you know what? Yeah, like what hand makes sense on all 3 streets? Like, and something like ace jack or ace king, like, sure, we can say maybe they triple off with ace king or ace jack with a diamond, but we also thought those hands, especially probably ace jack because it only has one over, but I think both of them there's a good chance they just check those on the flop, right? And so that's where the whole story kind of
Are
comes
you able
into
to
play.
figure out the combos of bluffs versus non-bluff? Well, I guess, yeah, the combos of bluffs versus non-bluffs.
Yeah, if we can like really
If you
pin
take
down what
two
hands we think.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so and that's where I don't know. I've seen people take this like, do we think pocket fours with
I just struggle
the
going
one?
through all the combinations on a board like this because there's just so many of them. I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure.
and we can maybe get somewhat close. Like this is a tough one, but if we think they have
Well, let's
a
just
lot
start.
of
Let's just start listing hands that, and now we have to think about all of the action leading up to it. So this is why poker's hard, right?
yeah.
Or can be hard. But um, let's just say like Jack nine, he probably doesn't have on the flop, right? Unless he's got like Jack nine of diamonds or Jack nine of clubs, right?
I would think so. I would actually say let's put Jack nine suited in there, just because Jack nine suited at least on the flop, if you're betting that as a bluff, like you're trying to fold out king high and ace high, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's fair to have the four combos of Jack nine suited, but not Jack nine offsuit
Okay.
from low
Well,
jack.
do you think his ace queens ever bet like this either? Probably not, right?
I don't think ace queen is taking this line all three streets.
And what kind of two pair could he have? Seven, eight,
Well, so, okay,
or eight,
this is good
seven?
though. This is good because 7-8 is going to check turn and maybe flop,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And so there's no 7-5 suited, 8-5 suited. That's all folding pre. Um, I think 10-7 suited. There are two combos of that.
Okay.
I
Yep.
think that's reasonable. I think
Yep.
queen 10 suited or offsuit. So there are
Yep.
only two queens left and three tens. So there's six combos there.
God. Even those hands don't like that river though.
They don't know. But yeah, let's say we got so six combos of queen 10, two combos of 10-7 suited. We have four combos of jack 9 suited. So that's 12 combos. We have three combos each of pocket fives and
Yeah,
sevens.
the sets. Yeah.
So that's 18. We'll give them pocket tens, even if we think that should
Okay.
sometimes check
I agree it
flop.
can be in there. Yeah.
So then that's 21. I guess 22 if we count the one combo of pocket queens. And then we have flushes. So let's see. I'm just gonna do this quick here. Ace, king, ace, jack, ace nine, ace seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So there's 9 nut flush combos, but maybe some of those check. We're going to ignore that for now. So then
Okay.
we'll say king jack of diamonds, king nine of diamonds. I think king seven of diamonds would just check turn with the pair, but we'll say king six of diamonds. So we'll go three more. So we're at like, I think 34 total combos. We already included the jack nine of diamonds with straights. That's about it. So like, and then we'll say like some
Okay.
of
So those
them,
are all combos that beat your hand.
yeah,
It's a lot of them.
it's a decent amount. And
Now, what
then
bluffs does he have that didn't get there?
that's the thing too. So, and here's the other thing is we're getting between what price are we getting here? Close to 2.5 to 1. So we only need to we just need that ratio. We only need to find like 12 combos of bluffs here,
Okay.
or maybe 14 or whatever. But now I'm suddenly thinking maybe I should have called because it's like, oh,
Oh,
the
you
the
did fold.
value.
Okay, you did fold.
Yeah. Oh, I did fold. So that
Okay.
I did end up folding this one. Because yeah, if our opponent is gonna take this line with like ace king or ace jack with a diamond, um,
It also kind of sucks that you have the queen of clubs in your hand. And I guess that doesn't really matter because then no, that doesn't matter because then he would have top. Never mind, ignore
yeah,
that.
it's not a bluff.
It's not a bluff. Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I still think like how many real combos of bluffs do we give people here? Like, is he really? And that's where I think a lot of the bluffs we can come up with are ace highs. that I think would have checked flop a
Yeah.
lot of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I think something like pocket fours or threes, if I think they're taking those hands and doing it, then sure.
I feel like he could just like, oh, one really good one might be like the king nine of clubs
Yeah. Or I think he doesn't want to have clubs because
because he wants us
something
to
like,
have that.
yeah, if I have like 9-8 of clubs, that's a easy fold. You
I
know what I
agree
mean?
with that, but I also think that there's a lot of one pairs that might fold.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so okay. All right. Well, so you ended up folding, which that was my initial thought too. And it's kind of funny, like honestly, like when I think about this stuff in real time, I can't count all those combos before I make my decision, but I have a
Mhm.
good general understanding of how many hands are beating me versus how many I'm beating.
Yeah, and
And
I
that
think
just
that
kind of comes with the territory, right? The more you play, you kind of figure that stuff out if you pay attention.
I agree, and I think, yeah, I think and look, we didn't even include something like pocket aces with the diamond as a
Mhm.
value
I
bet,
will
so
say though that studying content like this will help you naturally make those decisions in real time faster because you just kind of your brain knows like, oh man, there's so many combos of hands that beat me versus not here. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I think the takeaway, I think you and I agree that's probably a good fold, and
Yeah.
I think the reason is because if we were to come up with hands that they were bluffing with, a lot of them we could have ruled out earlier, like the ace highs, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
And so, yeah,
We,
I
we
I
yeah,
I'm
we
fine
we
with
kind of taken those out because of how he played the action on the flop
yep.
and turn. Okay, so we got one more hand here. We got the another ACR bird.
Another ACR tournament. So this time I know we're up against a pretty active player who he's somewhat competent, I think, but is like aggressive
Okay, he's
and
pretty short stacked, sub
yeah.
20.
And in this case, so he opens to two big blinds in the cutoff. He started with 19, and we have him covered. We're in the big blind. We have like 60 blinds, and we defend ace of diamonds, six of clubs, kind of close to just ripping it on him, but
Honestly, my thoughts on this is like I what, A6 might not actually be a terrible hand to do. It can also be a bluff. Oh, and because like people look at this and be like, I mean, you could actually get some better hands to fold by jamming A6 out here. But anyways,
yeah,
A6 is like the worst of the aces, so I just hate it. Yeah,
yeah. And I
just
think
feels punty when you get snapped. You know what I mean?
it does, but I think against cutoff, definitely against button, I would consider it
Yeah, cut
if
off
it
again.
was
Yeah,
19 effective. I think a lot of, and not that that's what the episode is about, but a lot of times there are a lot of hands that we can just three bet jam from out of position for like 20 big blinds that I think people get too passive with, and it costs them an opportunity to just pick up some chips. And
I agree.
these
Yeah.
marginal hands out of position
Okay.
are tough
So
to
you got the
play.
ace of diamonds, six of clubs. You defend is 5.5 in the pot. He's got 17 behind. You got 58 behind. So you got, okay. And we get the ace high flop. So you know what's nice about this spot? The first thing I can say is that one of my favorite things about these spots, but also sucks when they have it, is that you're pretty damn under rep from just defending the big blind on such a dry board, the ace A3 rainbow, that like their range advantage is pretty strong that you're at least going to get one or two streets from them. But also at the same time, like if you call two streets and they're still betting, like that's kind of scary, right?
Yeah. The flop is ace of spades, eight of clubs, three of diamonds. And so we have top pair, kind of a weak top pair, but we have we can have so many complete misses on this board.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of agree with what you said. So he actually starts off going pretty large.
Yeah, that's he
Uh,
sized up. It's funny because it's only 2.2 bigs, but on a board like this, that's with 5 and 5, like I would bet like 1 to 1.3 bigs.
yeah, totally. It's one of the driest boards we'll ever have.
Yeah.
And say he goes 40%, 2.2 into 5.5. And I'm just calling this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I
There's no need to deny equity at this point like either you're way ahead, like either they have two outs or less or um or you're way behind. So why, you know what I mean?
Yep. And I'm going
Keep their
to
bluffs in.
yeah. I'll also say I have whether it's through coaching or just I've seen some people
Did you malfunction
if
there or
you're
what's
in
going
our
on
spot
here?
what's that?
Are you malfunctioning right now or what's going on?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen some people just check raise and get it in with this ace here because it's like, well, I'm not folding anyways. Like if you got it, you got it. And
That's such a way to burn value.
yeah, and I think the way this hand plays out, we'll see why we don't want to do that. Because okay, that is true. We're there's almost no world where we're folding this hand, especially with how short our opponent is. But that's only one side of the equation. Like, yes, if we're beat, we're probably going to double them up. But what about when we are ahead? Like, do we think we're going to maximize our value by shoving here and getting them to fold a lot of the hands we beat? And, I think the answer is no. I think you would agree with that.
Yeah.
And so we get a full rainbow now. So the turn is the deuce of hearts. So it's ace eight, three deuce, full rainbow. We have ace six, and we're just going to check again. Now we face like half pot, which is still big, 4.9 into 9.9.
The reason
Big
it's
bet.
big also is because he doesn't need to make it these sizings to get that one SPR by river. So it's even,
Totally. Yeah. It's going to be like half pot river jam.
yeah.
And again, same idea here. We don't want to, like our opponent's going to be pretty polarized here in the sense that if they have value, it's pretty much all going to beat us. And if they're not going to bet an eight here, they're not going to bet pocket sevens or something. If they're bluffing, maybe they have some random five or four, like maybe they have a jack five suited and have a gut shot. But if they're bluffing, they're either drawing dead or they're essentially dead. And so our hand is just so easy to check call here.
I swear, if you check call here and then he blasts river and doesn't have value, he is just a nimwit. Like the
I
fact that
don't
you're
know.
calling, dude. I mean, you
But
could call two streets with an eight, but if you're calling, I mean, if it's like say it's like the five of or not five, I guess like six or seven, on the turn, like I don't know. I just think that you're not folding. If you're calling the turn with both of those sizings, I don't think he should expect you to fold the river on like rivers.
that may be true. I will also say I could have something like 5-3, 8-5 suited, 8-4 suited, a pair plus gutter. And I will also point out he knows I don't have a set because I would have jammed those pocket pairs pre.
Yeah, yeah.
He knows I'm not going to have many aces because most of my aces I'm going to,
Right,
or at least
as
a
I
lot
said,
of them I'm going
right,
to
as I
jam.
said before, I agree.
Yeah. And I can't, like the board's so raggedy, I can't really have the other two pairs either. And so it's like he is targeting. Well, okay, well, all right. So the
Now
way
he's
the
got
hand
to
plays out is exactly what you said. We'll just
imagine
get that
that.
part over with because so we check call turn. The river is a four, so it's ace eight three deuce four. We check. He jams for half pot. I call. Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess his hand?
Queen 10-0.
Very close. Jack 10 off.
Look at that. I'm the greatest.
Yeah, yeah. So this is almost the opposite of the other one, where by
God, this is
by
why I wouldn't have stuffed River. I'm sorry. Continue your thought. But this happens too frequently, in my opinion. After I see that action on the first two streets, don't get me wrong. I think it's the first two streets are good, but
mhm. Yeah, the tricky thing about this spot is there's no backdoor flush draw. There's no missed flush draw I can have, right? Like
yeah.
the hands, you're right, where the hands I call on the turn, it's going to be very hard to fold them on the river.
And not only that, but like you're gonna have way more straights than he is from the big blind, so it just makes his bluff even more worse. Like you could have the 3-5 suited, the 8-5 suited, maybe deuce five suited.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I guess he can have like the the 6-5 suited, five. I don't even know. I don't even know if he actually on that size he probably shouldn't even have on his 20 bigs. He shouldn't even be
Yeah,
opening
you could
those.
have, like, king 5 suited.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess he was cut off, so not really like the jack 5 or something, but
yeah.
anyways, I think, getting to the theme of the episode, and you feel free to add to this, the biggest takeaway from this hand is we decided to only call, and by just calling each street, we kept our opponent's range wide. If we were to have just tried to get it in on the flop, we would have folded out all those hands that are just drawing essentially dead against us.
Yeah, I mean, great point. I think that the most important part is like a lot of people will burn their value or the money that they make because, like you said, like, oh, let's just get in it. If I'm beat, I'm beat. And it's like, no, you're killing all the bluffs and only getting called by better. So now that's just a terrible play. And now by you calling and leaving his range wide, we got him to put his whole stack in with Jack high.
Yeah, well said. I think let here's the thought. Let's say he had ace queen, and let's say we had just like check raised and got it in, and let's say we had doubled him up. I've seen these sorts of hand reviews from people where they're like, "Well, I was gonna I was gonna not fold anyways, so nothing we can do there." And yeah, the main idea is not to ever get away from the hand, but to maximize value when we are ahead.
Can I
So
make an assumption, and you might not like it, but that his sizings also kind of helped give away the strength of his hand? Because if he had a hand, for example, like ace queen, he doesn't need to bet those sizings to get it all in by the river. And not only that, he's like, it's almost like he's trying to get you to fold by sizing up when on such a dry board when his value should be betting small. It just feels bluffier.
maybe I don't
It's just
necessarily know.
it just feels like an amateur move to me. Like someone's like, "Well, I'm going to win this pot, so I'm going to bet big." Because I mean, that's the general tendency. Like, you don't want. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's correct or not. I'm just saying like when someone is like an amateur, specifically is like bluffing, they size. I guess pros do too. But my point is
Yeah,
that
that could be true. I actually don't know how this player would have sized their value. And so I certainly agree that it's weird sizing and that it seems bad. I don't know if that
I wonder if he had ace queen, if he would have sized his bets that same way. And I'm thinking no, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
I think I agree with you there. I don't know for sure. That wasn't even like I didn't even think about that during the hand just because I've seen this guy way like be way too wide in spots before.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
kind of just knew what
Well,
the
that
plan
also
was.
helps you just find calls. I'm not, not that you should have done anything else, but when you know your opponent is just going to be bluffing, why not just give them all the rope, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like it's such a good way to just print.
yeah. All right. So we got one more hand, and it is from Global Poker. Can you see it there? Oops, that's not even it. That's not even
The
it.
wrong one.
Yep.
While you pull that up, I'll tell the people about our incredible weekend where we went snowboarding. Well, I snowboarded, West skied, and we went to the Upper Peninsula. We went to Big Powderhorn in Bessemer,
Yep.
or yeah, in Bessemer, right?
Yeah.
Um, we got a rental place up there, stayed up there for the weekend, did some snowboarding and skiing. Um, and yeah, Wes and I were racing. I think what was the top speed we reached? We got
It's like
like
48 miles an hour. I mean, which honestly,
we were
if it
ripping
was a
down those
bigger
hills.
mountain, we would have gone faster.
Yeah,
Let's
I
let's
mean,
really,
right, that's literally the fastest we could go down that mountain.
yeah.
It's not even a mountain technically, but that was a lot of fun. We were just absolutely ripping.
Yeah. The time we raced, like I don't know, you beat me once. I always caught up to you near the bottom, and I think it's one of two things. One, I'm a bigger guy, so maybe the gravity helps me. Also, I had just gotten my skis waxed, so I think I got a little extra juice out of them.
That as well, not to deflate you, but also, you should have been crush me because skiers are naturally like they're faster. They have more their aerodynamics are better than on a skateboard where your shoulders are facing forward or mine are parallel with the hill where you can
Yeah.
tuck in and parallel better. But um on top of that,
Oh yeah, and
I took the outside path on the one you beat me where I if
oh,
I
that's
went,
true.
if I went down the main path, 'cause I hung wide and you hung inside, and inside's always the faster way to the finish line. So let's be real.
That is true. Well, and you are just a
Fast
better
is
snowboarder
just
than
fast.
yeah. Well, you're a very like I'm a good skier, but you're a very, very good snowboarder, very experienced.
Tell me more, Wes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if
I'm
everyone
just
knows, but
kidding.
you used to do it very seriously,
I
right?
did. Thank you. Thank you, though. I appreciate
Yeah.
the kind words. It was super fun to get out there and finally. I mean, that's the first time you and I've ever gotten to ride together. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. We had some Bloody Marys in the bar, some fireballs on the hill. It was a good time.
Yeah. Prob Probably the most that you and I have drank in quite some time
Neither one of us are drinkers, so yes, it was
now.
definitely. Anyways, back to the hand here. This one is not on ACR. This is in the fish pool of global poker.
Yeah. All right. So this one's going to be a little bit different. Let's see. It's the low jack who opens off of 42 bigs min raise. We defend off of about 28 bigs. We have 10-4 of spades. And the flop is ace 3-5 rainbow with no spade. So we just have a gutter and 10 high. We check, we face between a third and a quarter pot, 1.62 into 5.4.
Okay. Yep.
I decide to call with the
Okay.
gut shot. I could see argument for check raising. Against
Okay.
that size, I don't think we really want to fold, but I wouldn't kill someone for folding with no backdoor.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I probably would float one depending on my stack
To be
size.
clear, guys, I won't kill you for any poker play.
Yeah,
Just
okay. You know what sucks though about calling with this hand in general is that when you do catch your even when you do catch your gutter, like your value's
we're not
pretty much
stacking
killed.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your value's killed. So it's kind of one of the things that just doesn't make it attract. That's why I think a check raise might be a little more valuable. Find out
Yeah,
where
I
you're at.
find out where we're at. Yeah, you're just trying to take it down. Part of the math here is we're assuming sometimes when they have just random C bets that don't connect with the board that our 10 or our 4 can be live as well. And that if it goes check check on turn, we can successfully bluff some rivers, profitably bluff some rivers, or we just get to see another street as well. Um so yeah, we're mostly obviously we're gonna miss the straight most of the time, but just a good price with a few
Yep.
possibilities.
Okay. So turn comes that ace of spades. There's just over eight and a half bigs in the pot. You got 24 behind.
Yep, and it's a full rainbow, ace 3-5 ace. So we're
Okay.
not never gonna lead here.
Does he check
We're gonna
again?
yeah, and then it goes check check and no fireworks in this hand, but so obviously
Interesting.
if they bet again, we fold.
So let's get back to our topic here, our range. I mean, essentially
Mhm.
by hmm, do we assume he checks king highs on the flop? I mean, bet small with king highs on the flop. I think so.
I think on ace
Just
three
range
five
betting.
rainbow, I think people the field in general is gonna just see bet small
Yep.
with pretty
Yeah.
much
Okay.
everything.
Okay. So, well, tell me how we break down the range here through this boring ass hand.
Yeah. So it's really about the turn check back because I think if our opponent had now once in a while, maybe they're trapping, right? But I think they're going to continue betting with an ace most of the time. I think even a pocket pair is going to bet small, try and get value from a 5 or a 3, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Even if they're probably not going 3 streets, but they'll probably bet again with like pocket nines here. So when it goes check check,
We assume they're unpaired besides the pair on the board.
yeah, I'm going to assume that their range consists of a lot of hands that have missed. which we still lose to a good amount of those, right? We lose to,
All the any Broadway hand that has a
yeah,
Broadway. Yeah.
even and any worse, or any 10 too, like 10-8 suited, we
Oh my
lose to.
God. Please tell me you call with 10 high here. Please tell me you call with 10 high.
So the river is a king. So now I'm in a spot where I think they have a fairly weak range, and I think, well, I know our hand is also weak. So my goal is to fold out queen high, jack high, 10 high.
Okay. So yeah, we don't probably really plan on folding out a king here. Let me ask you then. So let's talk about sizing before you hit the next button. There's 8.6. To fold a king out, you need to somehow bet really large. I don't even know if that's happening. But to fold out any sort of just like queen high, jack high, you probably don't need to. Well, actually, you probably still need to size it up a little bit. Would you
Yeah,
do?
I'm gonna
I would.
size it as if I had an ace.
Yeah, I would say like maybe like 6.2 bigs is my thought. What would you say?
I like that. I think that's around, let's see how good you are. Oh, 6.4.
Oh,
Right, right there. I
oof.
think I bet 3/4 exactly.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
and it works.
Let's
So,
go. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it would have been way cooler if he like made it
if I
6.2 and then
check
you
out,
called with 10 high and you had like 6-7 or 7-6-0 or whatever.
maybe if I had queen high,
I like that.
maybe.
Yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. Queen high makes way more sense because then you just beat all the jack highs as well.
Mhm.
Like a queen with a decent kicker too. Because sometimes Watch just has like a better kicker. Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh, it'd have been
just
a chop then. No, no, it wasn't.
no,
Never mind.
no, the
Okay,
kicker plays.
the kicker plays.
That
Shit.
would that would be brutal. He just bluffs with queen 9 suited,
Oh
and
God.
I
And then it's
snap
funny though,
queen
because
4.
then you ask him, it's like, you ever get that like in a live tournament where someone like bets a hand like that on the river and you're like, were you value betting or bluffing? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I just had to bet.
I just had to bet. It's like, dude, you had, oh man, I hate that. I get
There
wrecked
was this
sometimes by
one
that.
there's this one hilarious hand in the World Series, some World Series event last year, where there had been some action on flop and turn, and then this one guy like jams river into a big pot, and I think it was like a 10 high board. And the other guy thinks for a while and eventually folds, and the guy who jammed shows an ace, and the guy who tank folded was like, "Yeah, I just had king queen high." And the guy with an ace was like, "Yeah, no, I figured I was ahead." And I'm like, "What? No,
That,
this is
it was a
like,
value bet, Wes. It was a
yeah,
value
like,
bet.
no, you didn't, but
I
like,
figured,
no."
yeah. He just wanted to try and save face, but he looked even more stupid by that. Yeah, that's great.
I
Um,
mean, he won the pot, you know.
okay,
He
so essentially, his turn. But backing up to the hand here, the turn on the paired board ace, we assume that he's unpaired. So, but might have a sliver of showdown value. So we can kind of pick apart his block until we think that he's just a lot of queen jack high. Sometimes you do have the best hand, but might as well bet to just get those slightly better hands to fold as well.
Yeah, and I think it's also good to note here that on this board, there's not a ton of draws. Like, yeah, I'll have some gut shots or maybe 6-4, but there's no flush draws. And I will have all the aces, right? So I am telling a credible story, and it's not like I'm going crazy with bluffs here. Like, there's just not going to be a ton of them.
As
So,
he's got the 10-4 of spades.
well, maybe there will be, but we got to do
Uh,
what we got to do.
yeah, no, for sure. Well, Wes, it was fun to, break down some ranges and discuss how we narrow our ranges street by street. Guys, if you enjoyed this content, please, if it means the world to us, give us a 5-star review on wherever you're listening to this platform. That helps grow the podcast, as we mentioned every episode. It means a ton to us. So wherever you're listening, just hit that 5 stars for us. Leave a comment or review if you'd like to as well. All that stuff helps us on the search engine. So thank you for taking the time to do that. As for our Patreon, guys, we've been having new members hop in all the time. First off, we appreciate all the members that are currently with us. We have all those different tiers for whatever whatever kind of value you're trying to get out of it. For example, we got a free based tier where it costs you no money, and we do a hand of the week every week, which we're going to record right after this. So make sure to check that out. Then there's paid ones where we do, more specific study spots, and it's all video based as well. So if you're kind of a visual learner, it's a great place for you to go, and it's a much cheaper way for you to learn than using all of the other higher cost, stuff that's out there. So, anyways, yeah, make sure to check that out. Also, our Discord. If you're not already in there, please go ahead and take a second to join that. Link in the description for all of these things. And then Wesley is back on the grind, the online streaming grind. Wes, your
Yeah.
first day back didn't go so hot, I heard.
Yeah, it ended up okay. I got
You got
surprise, surprise, I
West
got
place.
3rd place in the blitz on global.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like one other, maybe 2 other min caches and was losing everything else. But yeah, we got 3rd in that for 1,500. So I lost 600 some on the day.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, it ended up being fine. I think when you texted me, we weren't in the money in the blitz yet, and so I had been I was looking at a potential 2K in losses just from tournaments. So
Good.
which is pretty bad when your total buy-ins amount to just above 2K.
It's a rough day, but I'm happy to see you back on the challenge, and I really do want to see you come through the finish line on that. So make sure to check that out. Also, good luck to all the Minnesota grinders this week playing at Canterbury for their $400 deep stack or monster stack. I will be firing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be firing it tonight, the night we're recording this, or not, but I'll be in there at some point. Still in the air. I've been a little low energy today and just trying to. I don't know. I don't
It's a
want to play
low
when I'm not.
energy weather type of day.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Who knows if that's it, but
maybe. But yeah, make sure to check that out. Also, as mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, we will be doing our Suited Kings Fish Fry at Running Aces. That's going to be January 16th and 17th. The flyers are, make sure to check out our pinned tweet. Our pinned tweet, yes, that is what it is, at Suited Kings Pod on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. And we have structure sheets on there. We got the dates, the times, everything that's going on. Make sure to check that out at Running Aces in Columbus, Minnesota. Our first in-person live meetup game, guys. Really hope that it's a big turnout so we can continue doing such things. Wes, anything else I'm missing? Oh, one more thing. Silly me. Tilted Compass, guys. If you have not had a chance, I know every time I go into a casino now in the Midwest, everybody's wearing Tilted Compass. That's how the gear is so comfy. It's incredible. But they also make Suited Kings collaboration merch. So if you want to get some Tilted Compass Suited Kings collaboration merch, make sure to check out the link in the description. Help support the podcast, help support small businesses, and look good and comfortable while you're doing it. So yeah, that was a mouthful. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Happy New Year to you. Hope it's starting off well. Hope you're making a pile of cash. Wes, I guess the same for you. Whatever.
thanks, Max. Very kind.
All right. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.